Faithful, that's a big win right there. Let's get it. Welcome to the Cayman's Island podcast, where we talk all things San Francisco 49ers. I'm your host, David Cayman, and in today's show, we're going to be breaking down the 16-15 49ers victory over the Arizona Cardinals. There's a lot to talk about, a lot to unpack here. I know we just got breaking news about Nick Bosa, man, tearing his ACL and going to be out for the season. We'll get into that a bit later. Prayers go out to Nick, praying for a fast recovery, praying that you can return to your normal dominant form. Also, prayers for James Conner, man. That was also a very bad injury, season-ending injury that James Conner suffered yesterday as well, man. Don't want to see anybody hurt on the field. Praying for a fast recovery on that. But several takeaways in this game. Good takeaways. Let's start with that first. Man, we have a good backup quarterback. Now, I know that Mac really threw a pick on a drive that I feel like we could have sealed the game anyway with a touchdown, but appreciate his resiliency, man, of coming back, driving us down the field to set up the game-winning field goal, to have the resiliency to fight through that knee injury. He was hobbling out there, even trying to scramble around a few times on that hobble. Very impressed by what he was able to accomplish. He is the backup, man. He could have went out there and just in that moment folded, right? He could have just completely shut down after he threw that interception on that previous drive. Now, when that pick happened, he was trying to hit Ricky Pearsall on that deep cut in and just threw it right to the defender, man. Our defense held. Got a punt. We got pinned down there. Dominic Pooney with that hold. I didn't really think that hold occurred in the end zone, but nevertheless led to a safety. Defense really stood up again, got us the ball back. Big Mac and Cheese was able to drive to set up my man, Eddie Pinero. Money time for the game-winning field goal. Mac in this game went 27 for 41. 284 yards, touchdown, and a pick. Like I said, statistically, not breaking the record books whatsoever, man. But the fact that he could hang in there, drive us down the field when it mattered to get the W. I'm so glad we invested in a true backup quarterback. Now, I know I've heard some noise out there about quarterback controversy and all this silly stuff, man. Let's just stop with that, okay? Mac Jones did some positive things, some good things. I think everybody's happy about that, but that man is not Brock Purdy. So let's just stop and not even get into that whole, we could have just had Mac Jones and all this stuff. Guys, we could have easily lost all three of these games and been 0-3. In both games that Mac started and played, we could have lost both of those games. We have just been able to have a defensive coordinator that knows what he's doing, puts our team in the best position to win games. And we were able to pull out what last year we could not get done. So, yeah, there's not a quarterback controversy here, guys. Brock's going to come back, probably start in this game against the Jaguars, man, and we're going to get back to some things as normal. Speaking of big money Pinero, man, isn't it refreshing to be able to line up for a field goal that any NFL kicker with a working foot can hit and not have to hold your breath? It was the first time in years I knew that this man was making this field goal. As long as it wasn't blocked, this man was making this field goal. And that's exactly what he did, man, hitting all of his extra points. Big time kick, got the win. Niners 3-0, 2-0 in the division. Rams lost. Just an absolutely enormous win, man. Enormous win. Other things that I want to point out here, we got to talk about. Ricky Pearsall. Wow. I'm not surprised. I thought once Ricky got going, he was going to be a real good player. But what I'm starting to see now is that if his name gets called a bit more, if we can make him even more of a focal point of the offense, he's explosive, man. He can run routes. Maybe we can get this man on an end around. Maybe we can get this man on a wide receiver screen. I think if we start making him more of a focal point, he can be legitimately a number one wide receiver. And when we get Brandon Ayuk back, if he can return, if Brandon Ayuk can return to 90% of who he was with George Kittle, Jawan Jennings, Christian McCaffrey, why not just line up into five wides and have Brock in the gun, man, and tell the other team good luck covering all of that. I'm really looking forward to if once upon a time the Niners can ever have some sort of health completely on the offensive side of the ball, what that would look like. Will we have a game this year where the Niners will be able to go out there with CMC, Brandon Ayuk, Ricky Pearsall, George Kittle, and Jawan Jennings? Will that happen this year? It will be a sight to see. I'm really hoping and praying that's something that we get to recognize, man. But Slick Rick is the real deal. There was some nonsense early on last year with him not getting the ball and such, that this man could be a bust. Like, you have to be able to have a true sample size, man. You have to be able to have, especially at the wide receiver position, it's not an easy transition, man, from college to the pros. It's not. Defenses are usually way ahead of the offense, and especially in that wide receiver position. Now that Ricky's got some time under his belt, and you could see this coming, right? If you pay attention to anything film-wise, if you take a look at the way Ricky's been able to separate, the way he runs his routes, his explosiveness, I feel like he's above average on every trait as a receiver, and he's only improving game after game. And he's showing it week in, week out. Like I said, I like to try to get him the ball a little bit more, maybe even more in space. I love to see him on an end around. Maybe I should call my man Kyle and make that happen, right? But Slick Rick is the real deal, guys, and he's only going to get better. He's only going to get better from here. On the defensive side of the ball, Nick got hurt early. And I have to say, man, that one play where Kyler Murray barely threw the ball away, it was intentional grounding, but barely got the ball over the goal line, very close to being a safety, man. To see all of our guys out there, Mykel Williams, huge game, man. To see these guys out there, CJ West, and these other young guys, man, out there making plays is refreshing and leads to a lot of confidence for sure. We were able to close this game out. We were able to hold the Cardinals under 300 total yards. They had a lot of drives, man. They held the ball a lot. Some very lengthy drives. They dominated us in time of possession. But just to see the bend but not break defense, man. Robert Saleh putting some pressures out there in the right times, man. Players like Upton Stout out there making big brain plays, breaking up what looked like a surefire catch to give us the opportunity to pull this one out. It's a welcome sight, that's for sure. Really wanted to say this too, man. It's time just going forward for me. D. Winters had another big game. I think that we're going to have to start talking about this man when it comes to playmakers on the defensive side of the ball. D. Winters is that dude. The Niners made a tough call to let Dre walk, and I know in the 11th hour we tried to get him or whatnot. It didn't pan out, and if you look at both sides, and I'm not saying Dre won't get back to doing Dre Greenlaw things. I'm not saying that. I actually pray he does, man. I pray for success for all these guys. But right now, availability is the best ability, and right now D is out there time in, time out, sideline to sideline making these plays, man. We got to start just recognizing, man, when we talk about Fred Warner. Now, of course, Fred's a step above, but we have to put some respect on D's name and recognize, man, that this guy's out here doing his thing and making these plays. The not so good, a couple of things. We continue to struggle in the run game, man, especially up the middle where the guards are at. I hope that over time, man, we can get some more continuity up front. I know Connor Colby, it was his first career start. He did have a hold. I think we had a total of 4 holds, and I noticed that every time we had a hold, the very next play, we had another big gain. to almost erase those bad penalties. Now, we were really fortunate to be able to come back from all those penalties, because typically for us, when we get a holding call, that was a nail in the coffin last year on drives. But this year, man, we were able to overcome that like it wasn't even a big deal. Hey, get a hold, because next play we're gaining 13 yards anyway. So that was very fortunate. That cannot continue to be the theme. That can't continue to be the theme. I don't know what's going on with Dominic Pooney, man, but maybe he's not 100% out healthy out there and he's playing hurt. But we've got to fix that, and fix that relatively quickly. I'm hoping as these guys play more together, Connor's going to be out there for the foreseeable future with Ben Barch being out. Hopefully we can get some continuity there and get this line under control. Another thing that really is troubling for me, man, CMC. For me, the appearance is that maybe Christian McCaffrey has lost a step. It's really hard to tell that, though, when you're getting blown up in the backfield on runs up the middle every play. Really can't tell if he's truly lost a step or he's just getting the door slammed shut on him before he can build up any speed. But the fact that he's getting as many touches as he's getting, he will not hold up for the rest of this season if we continue doing that. We have to get Brian Robertson in there. Love how we ran Brian on the outside for that one. I think it was a 19-yard play. Immediately took him out thereafter. Didn't see him again. I know we've done a good job of using CMC like as an extension of the run game, these little swing passes. And that's great and good, man. But that's continuous hits to Christian McCaffrey's body, man. Continuous pounding on his frame. And it's too much. And we've got to use something else. We've got to find something where CMC's not getting as many touches in our offense. I don't like making one player the sole focal point. Maybe do some things, some fakes to him. I don't know. We've got to figure this thing out. CMC's not going to hold up with all these touches. Another thing that I noticed, man, Renardo Green, getting a bit concerned, man. I've seen multiple big plays or a big penalty now in all 3 games. I understand that Demo's on the other side. I get it, man. I wouldn't throw at Demo either when I can throw to the other side to Renardo Green. But we need to see some consistency there. We need to see some improvement. I know he's a sticky coverage guy, but yesterday he looked silly with getting lost on where the ball was at. So my hopes is that he can recalibrate and lock in on the other side opposite of Demo, so that way he's just not getting picked on the entire game. Last but not least, Nick Bosa. Man, I really like Nick Bosa. He, for all intents and purposes, really, in my opinion, won us that Seattle game, shutting the door on Seattle's game plan to come back, man. And he just always relentlessly around that edge gets pressure. It's a big loss. There's no way around that. I naturally am a glass half empty guy, so I'm trying to stay as positive as I can. I actually sent a text to one of my good 49er friends, and he's like, there you go with all that doom and gloom. I don't know how you guys feel, faithful, but I feel pretty gloomy knowing that man probably is responsible. I don't have any advanced statistics on this, but I want to say from the eye test, man, it definitely looked like we were generating a lot less pressure without Nick on the field. Not like I said, the rookie stepped up and did great things, but there were several plays back there where Kyler had a lot of time to throw after Nick went out. I'm hoping and I'm praying that the Niners do something radical here. And the 49ers would do something that I've seen them do in the past. For example, with Christian McCaffrey. If I am the front office, if I'm John Lynch and I'm Kyle Shanahan, this is what I see. I see a 3-0 record. I see a true possibility at being 4-0 playing against Jacksonville. Now look, this is the NFL, and absolutely positively anything can happen. But I feel like we're the better team with or without Nick Bosa. If we actually fielded the same team this coming up Sunday, I feel like we're the better team, and we could be staring at 4-0. It's not a lot of times you go 4-0 and not make the playoffs. I pick up the phone. I say, hey, here's a first-round pick next year. What defensive end can I get from you guys for this first-round pick? If we look at this thing holistically, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think the Niners win 12 games this season. I think we host a playoff game and have a very good shot at winning that first playoff game. If we have a 20% chance of making the Super Bowl and we're going to have a low first round pick anyway, you go all in. If you look at what's going on, what's in front of you, and I know this is not going to be popular and I may get some ugly comments, but I'm going to say what needs to be said. Do we give Nick another contract coming off of another ACL? Or do we shake that man's hand for all the time and effort and work he's done helping us get to 2 Super Bowls and we let him end his career somewhere else? What could we possibly get this time next year if Nick's able to come back and shows any signs of being normal Nick Bosa? We trade our first round pick this year for a younger dude, man, that's maybe proven. And then we get that first round pick back when we trade Nick Bosa. Again, not popular, but the reality is, are we going to try to extend that man again? Are we going to try to give Nick Bosa another market-setting contract at his age coming off another ACL? And again, it hurts me to say that out loud because I love me some Nick Bosa. I want Nick Bosa to finish his career as a Niner. However, at the end of the day, if you put a franchise hat on, you're staring at a team that could be 4-0, and there's a trade deadline that's quickly approaching week after week, day after day. You got to pick up the phone, man. You got to make a call. Are we going to be serious? Are we taking this year seriously? Or are we going to go one and done in the playoffs or win a game and not even sniff competing with a Green Bay or a Philadelphia Eagles? Look, man, if we can get that offense healthy and we have what I believe we could have on the offensive side of the ball, I pick up the phone and I say, here, take this first round pick. Who can I get at defensive end to help this team right now have a chance to compete for a Super Bowl? Tell me what you guys think in the comments. Do you think I missed anything offensively or defensively that was a key in this game? As always, if you like what you saw today, remember to like and subscribe. And as always, take care and be blessed.